So the race is red flagged, and they start on a rolling start. And no one knows why. Come to after the race where we find out that the thunderstorm actually took off some power from the grid, and they didn't have their start-stop lights. That's why they were doing rolling starts. But you know what? Who would have told us this? Michael Massey. Michael Massey would have at least filled us in on what was going on and told us, hey, we just lost some power. We're going to do some rolling starts. And everyone would have been okay with it. But this new FIA direction with being super critical on what information released is kind of shitty, I got to say. Hashtag justice for Michael. They're busy monitoring the underwear and the jewelry of the drivers. True. Hey, man, that's important, too. Driver safety, we take that #1 here.
For the Fats is Nicholas Latifi.
Oh,
down
Latifi!
At the hairpin. And hitting the barriers as well, Lance Stroll. In the
What are my Canadian boys doing? One goes nose into the wall. The other one brushes the side of his car. Man, it rains. It snows in Canada, and these guys don't even know how to drive in the rain. Brutal. So, lap 17. Delta between Charles and Sergio is equal to 7 seconds flat. 8 seconds. I lied. It's 8 seconds. So he's pitting to inters. Now, if you're a Ferrari strategist, you know exactly what you need to do right now. It's really easy. You got Charles in P1 and the top Red Bull in P3. You're up by 8 seconds. As soon as that top Red Bull pits, you make the move and you go in and you cover him. It doesn't matter if he pits 15 times in the race. All you got to do is cover the highest competitor on the other team. Especially with 8 seconds. If you get down into the 1 and 2 seconds, well, now you got to worry about the undercut. I understand that. You don't need to worry about an 8-second undercut here. All you have to do is pit Charles. So is that what they do? Leclerc's now in the pits.
Pitting, his teammate Carlos Sainz staying out into. So
now we got lap 19. Where are we at? The delta between these two is now equal to, when he comes out,
Sainz has to now commit to going to full
and he undercuts him.
Is the track dry enough for...
That's an undercut. Perez takes the spot. That's terrible.
Carlos Sainz to pit, come out on the dry tyres.
Stay out.
That's Leclerc. Then
there's just so much going on. Okay, so now equals Sergio up by 1 second. There's 2 laps here that happen. Let's say it's a linear progression and the delta changes by 4 seconds. Charles could be up by 4 seconds after that first undercut. Now you got to be worried a little bit about the undercut to the slicks. But why did they leave him out 2 laps just to fucking sit there and die? That's terrible. So now we go to lap 22. We're on lap 22. So this is a Sergio pit. This is a Charles pit. We go to lap 22, and we have a Charles and a Carlos pit. Double stacked. What the heck is this?
As Sergio Perez comes in to make...
So now, look at Red Bull. Lap 22. Oh, look. Lap 22, Charles pitted. You got to remember, Perez is on top. What did I say when you're the leading driver, leading the Grand Prix? Oh, all you have to do is cover off the guy who you're trying to stay in front of. And guess what? In lap 22, we then have Perez, who pits. This is an amazing concept that has dropped Charles from P1 to P4. Unbelievable. Ferrari in shambles.
Make a pit stop. Is Max Verstappen
and those 4 laps
to
define the entire race. And he's ahead of Leclerc
behind Perez at what I wanted to see
by 7.5 seconds. Wait a second. This is weird. Hey, boys, let's look at the math real quick. If we look at lap 17 Charles to lap 22 Carlos, or Perez, holy shit. 8.0 minus 7.5 Oh, that's weird. 0.5 seconds. Charles would still be up. All they had to do was pit him a lap earlier, but they hung him out to dry on the full wets.
The man in second place. And
look at him. He makes the move and he just goes a little bit offline. Grabs a bit of the water. That was a great save.
From Carlos Sainz, that was. And that is the save of the...
But Carlos, man, you can't go off the racing line with slicks when it's still wet out. Like, I don't understand this move at all. All he had to do was tuck tight behind Perez and wait for Perez to mess up. You want to put the pressure on and make him make a mistake. But instead, he gets greedy, goes off the racing line, and almost totals his car. Unbelievable.
Carlos Sainz.
Also, by the way, K-Mag retired from the race. They didn't show it on the broadcast. They didn't mention it on the broadcast. You see Mick tear his car into two pieces, and then it pans back, and it's K-Mag sitting out here like a goddamn spectator, disappointed in his son. Come on, guys. Feed us a couple bits of information.
Swimming pool chicane. Oh,
that's a big crash, though.
Hit the Armco, spun around a couple of times, and then...
Alonso was defending like a lion, and he was trying to make it so that Hamilton was backed up, and then Ocon might have a chance to pass him. He made this entire group from 7th down to 17th. Look at the gaps here. 4 tenths, 1/2 second, 1.6 seconds, 3 seconds, 1 second. They're all packed, and they're 42 seconds behind the leader. That's a problem with Monaco. You can't pass. He's 4 seconds off the pace, and Hamilton still can't get by him. So you're going 20 minutes later. This 4-pack of leaders is just by themselves. I mean, Russell and Norris are in no man's land, but the 4-pack of leaders are nowhere to be found, totally by themselves, and now they're getting into a lapped car situation where these 4 have to try and get around them. All because Alonso's trying to hold up Hamilton so Ocon has the slightest of chance to get by him. By the way, at this point in the race, Ocon has a 5-second penalty for his shenanigans earlier, and Alonso is still backing them up. The Alpine strategy at that point should have been to break away, try and build a gap between Ocon and Bottas so he could keep his points position, or at least, hell, Ocon and Vettel keep a points position. But no, Alonso and Hamilton, a rivalry dating back through the ages, needs to make sure that he holds him up. And that, at the end of the day, cost Ocon some points.
It's Perez in the Principality. He wins the Monaco Grand Prix.
There it is, boys.
Sainz once more has to settle for a runners-up.
Checo Perez, 2 races away from retirement in 2019. Found himself with no seat. Rich Canadians came over, took over his team, implanted their son as an operative as the second seat, getting rid of Perez because they want to bring Vettel over to support him. He goes from P20 to P1 at Secure, and the door opens. Red Bull say they don't have any junior drivers. They need to bring a good veteran in to establish a baseline for Verstappen. And look where Perez is now, a Monaco Grand Prix winner. Monaco Grand Prix winner. And today he signed a 2-year contract with them. What a revival of a career. It's pretty cool to see. I'm actually very happy Checo won this if Charles couldn't make it there. And I mean, it's anyone's games, right? Charles was, 40-some points up on Max at one point here. So, I mean, this could flip on its head within the month. You got Azerbaijan, which is a bit of a wild card race most of the time. And Canada. Canada's an awesome race. Not because I'm Canadian, but it is just a great race. Lots of passing, lots of strategy options. It could always rain in Montreal. You never know. So this might not be the same here in a month's time. But we'll see.
Sergio Perez, the winner.
What a great race. Actually, not really. I'm pretty pissed off.